Hi, Karina here, your Lucid Living coach. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm an intuitive, transformational life coach and astrologist, and I am here to give you the messages from the sky gods. My purpose for this podcast today is to enlighten those that are not familiar with the lunar nodes in astrology. As I'm an astrologist, I'm passionate about energy, predictions, and to help prepare the collective for any unexpected pains and get us excited about pleasures to look forward to. I found a great deal of benefits to learning this language of the universe, and I'm here to share what I know in hopes to help others see things around them a little more clearly. Now, we're all affected one way or another by the lunar nodes or anything really that's happening around us in our universe. These are planets, asteroids, you name it, flying rocks in the sky, whatever you want to call it. It affects us. And in this podcast, I'm going to show you how to look up your own natal birth chart to find out where these energy shifts will be happening for you in 2022. So I'd just like to say thanks for joining, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos with others and to help spread awareness and community. So let's get right into it. First of all, I'll explain what a lunar node is, and I'll also explain how long it transits a zodiac and what area of the sky it will be transiting and what planet and energy it rules. Then secondly, I'll show you how to look up your astrology birth chart for free on the internet. So then I could show you where the transiting nodes will be affecting your personal chart. And thirdly, we will then discuss what we could expect for this next lunar cycle, the pros and the cons and what we experienced in the past. Lastly, I'll wrap up with some important dates for you to write on your calendar. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so what is a lunar node? Well, a lunar node, either of the two orbital nodes of the moon. So that is the 2 points at which the orbit of the moon interacts with the ecliptic. So we have the ascending node and we have the descending node. And this is where the moon enters the south ecliptic hemisphere. Now, the lunar eclipse can occur only when the full moon is near either lunar node, while the solar eclipse can occur only when the new moon is near either lunar node. So in astrology, this is important. The nodes of the moon are very important because it indicates our destiny points in this life. The North Node indicates the direction in which we are supposed to be evolving towards. And the South Node is that in which we are leaving behind. What we have a lot of experience with, therefore, we don't need to learn much about this area of life. So just to see it as like the North Node is the dragon's head, and the South Node is the dragon's tail. Each one of us has a North Node and a South Node, which indicates the direction in which we are supposed to be heading. Now, the current North Node and South Node indicates the direction in which humanity or the collective is experiencing and where we should be heading or moving away from. The lunar nodes transit one zodiac in the sky for 18 months. The zodiacs are the constellations that encompass the Earth's ecliptic. Therefore, when there is an eclipse, it is on that particular lunar node on the eclipse. So currently, the North Nodes are Gemini North Node and Sagittarius South Node. And the last time this was transiting was 2001, where Gemini represents communication and short distance travel, and Sagittarius, which represents what we learn and long distance travel in foreign lands. So we can see that there is a similarity between these themes from 2001 and the last 18 months of this year. So the North Node in Gemini has been through 2020 and 2021, which we will completely be out of the North Node in Gemini into the North Node of Taurus in January. But we're having a little sneak peek with this eclipse because it's so close to the Taurus lunar node. The lunar node is closest to Taurus right now. So we're going to be having a full moon, partial lunar eclipse in Taurus this Friday, November 19th. Now we're stepping into the Taurus North Node and the Scorpio South Node. And the last time this was transiting was in 2003, where Taurus represents the finer things in life, like luxury items and food. Scorpio represents death and taxes and the hidden taboo things. Okay, so now looking up your natal birth chart. I use astro.com and here it is. And you just want to go to maybe this all horoscopes at a glance. They kind of changed their section. When you pull it up, you might not have an account. Wherever you read, free chart, birth chart. So then you're going to go here, extended chart selection, and then you're going to enter in your information. So I'll do today. So you just come over here, okay, and you're going to type your name, and then you're going to put a male or female, okay? So I'm a female. Then I'm going to put my birthday, 1980. And then you want to put the time of birth, okay? Let's just say 6, and then go. And so you're going to put your exact time of birth. That has to do with your ascendant. So you want to make sure to have your time of birth. You can find that on your birth certificate, the exact time you were born. This is very important for predictions. Okay, so here we go. This is a chart. Okay, so you're going to look for the North Node. This little symbol right here, it looks like headphones. That is your North Node. And the South Node is the upside down headphones. So in this chart, the North Node is conjunct the Sun in Leo in the first house. So this is where you would want to develop more skills in. This is the descendant, which is an Aquarius in the 7th house. And this is where you have a lot of experience and you're kind of a pro. So that's how you look up your natal birth chart for free on the internet. Okay, so I looked up the United States birth chart. So we could see the North Node is in Leo and the South Node is in Aquarius. Now, with full moon, solar eclipse is in Taurus at 27 degrees. So in this chart, I'm going to look at where 27 degrees of Taurus is, and it looks like it is around here. This is the 6th house. The 6th house has to do with our habits, our work habits, our health habits. So you could look in your chart to see where it is. So like, okay, the chart that I looked up, the lunar nodes is going to be transiting the 10th house. And then at the very end of the transit, it's going to be transiting the 9th house. So this area right here is where it'll be transiting for the next 18 months. So when you look up your chart, look for this symbol right here, which represents Taurus. And that's where the transit will be, within this line and this line. And then you could look at which house. which indicates right here, the 10th house is the house of career. If you would like a reading from me, you can go to my website at www.lucidlivingmovement.com. So then I could help you interpret your chart. Let's look up today's chart. Okay, so then I could show you. Let's just look up the solar eclipse chart. This is on Friday. See, the sun's at 27 degrees of Scorpio and the moon will be at 27 degrees of Taurus when this partial lunar eclipse. This is actually one of the longest partial eclipses that there's been. I think it's going to be eclipsing for like 3 hours. And so that's kind of that's a long eclipse. This is a huge transformation for us. And it's a really intense one as well because it has to do with Mars here and Uranus here. Now, because the nodes are switching to Taurus, this particular full moon eclipse is highlighting Taurus. And right now, Uranus is transiting Taurus. Uranus is about the future. Okay, it's about innovations. Okay, it's kind of like AI type stuff or new ways of going about your day or new ways and routines. This is things that are not normal. These are usually things that we're not used to. So this to me is like the battle of the worlds, old world versus new world. We have Saturn here, which indicates the structures of the old world, and it's also in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is the ruler of Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus, which leads me to believe that there is going to be a more highlight on the new world, okay? New ways of doing things. Taurus being our money and our resources and the finer things and luxury items like food and stuff. Uranus is finding these new ways to do things in that area. So cryptocurrencies have been really, really doing well. Bitcoin was at its all-time high, along with other cryptocurrencies. So we will continue to see that. The focus is on the new in Taurus. Now, Uranus hasn't transited this area of the sky since 1941 and 1942. It's been here for a while. It entered here, I believe, in 2018. So, and it's oscillated a little bit because it's in retrograde now. So it appears to be moving backwards and forwards. So in comparison to Earth. Now, I looked up from 1942 and I found some information about the history. Okay. So this is where I came up with some of my predictions in the last video. So right here, food and consumer goods. So it looks like there was a shortage of food, sugar in the same time that Uranus transited Taurus last. Sugar was the first consumer commodity rationed with all sales ended on the 27th of April, 1942. And it resumed on May 5th with the ration of 0.5 pounds per person per week and a half of the normal consumption. So bakeries and ice cream makers and other commercial users received rations of about 70% of the normal usage. Also, coffee was rationed nationally on the 29th of November of 1942 to 1 pound every 5 weeks, about a half of the normal consumption, in part because of the German attacks on shipping from Brazil. Now, we might be having some problems with cargo, and we already started seeing those problems because of COVID and factories shutting down, and then everyone receiving unemployment, no one wanting to go back to work for more than one reason, and now they don't have enough people to unload these ships with all of our goods and produce and toilet paper and, you know, some of the factories being shut down. Now, in March of 1942, the dog food could no longer be sold in tin cans, and the manufacturers switched to dehydrated versions. So there was a lot of problems with getting consumer goods to consumers during this time. So we just want to be mindful that these kind of energies could be coming back up, but it will definitely look a different way because it is a different time. Now, it looks like they also stopped selling, they also stopped selling automobiles for a little bit. And we are having problems with that as well due to COVID. Now, we don't know what the future may hold, but this is just some of the things that has happened in history. And the only way to stop repeating history or to prepare for the future is to look back at history. So a lot of this was due to wars. Okay, this was World War II. It looks like January 30th of 1942, Emergency Price Control Act guaranteed the Office of Price Administration the authority to set price limits and ration food and other commodities in order to discourage hoarding and ensure the equitable distribution of scarce resources, which last year it was toilet paper and hand sanitizer. And that was a very interesting one. But so what they did in the 1940s is give food vouchers that pretty much the voucher would say that you can have the only allotted amount that you could have, like rations. So with this voucher, you can get 2 loaves of bread, you know, this week. So that's kind of how they dealt with this. And hopefully we could come up with something similar because there was no toilet paper for a while at Costco and people were like fighting over them. You know, I do remember they had notes in Trader Joe's saying limit yourself to only 1 or 2 bags of you know, rice and beans and stuff like that. But it was really up to the cashiers to regulate. So that was a little peek into history.